Old enough to know better, too young to resist.
You guys know, you should know all these people. You guys have somebody that's thinking, my thing is going forward is a little diversity and you guys have somebody that you think would be good.
I feel awkward about saying that. I mean, you guys probably know these people better than I do. There's a couple that I know. But that was we always liked the diversity part of this thing. I always have. I think getting different points of view to see that. It's all
Oh,
good.
you know, I know about it over at Steve. How to go.
But then you have, there's brother John. I mean, he's got a wealth of history, a lot of time, various aspects of the city.
Very antagonistic.
He can get snarky, but,
Occasionally.
The mayor called me. He thought it was fun. I'm just curious.
Do you want to hear my campaign speech?
One guy's on here who was on some city council, former city council, planning commission, housing authority, agriculture, fire authority, and doing
yeah. Is that, Jesse Davis? Oh, yeah.
I've heard a lot of good things about Christina Arnold. I don't know her, but I've heard good things about her.
Yeah. Okay,
We're pretty much at 6. So.
Do we have any online?
I'm on, Riley.
You get two callers, I don't know who they are.
Okay, so Jana, is that you?
Yes.
Okay. And then who's the other caller?
Meredith is here.
Okay.
I heard another.
Anybody else?
James.
Okay, we got James and Jana.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got a quorum. Let's go ahead and get started with a roll call.
Yes, sir. Riley Armstrong,
Present.
David Story,
Here.
Kent Taylor, Jesse McDaniel, Saul Aguilar, Jana Lassard,
Here.
and James McCornack.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. I'm not going to do a swearing in just because I don't think we'll have any testimony. If we do, I'll do that. If I could have an approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the agenda for the City of Roswell Planning and Zoning Commission for Tuesday, May 26th.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Story, a second by Commissioner Lassard to approve the agenda for our Tuesday, May 26th, 2020 meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Our next item is the approval of the March 24th, 2020 Planning and Zoning regular meeting minutes. If I could have a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the minutes from the regular Planning and Zoning Commission meeting from March 24th, 2020, as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Story and a second by Commissioner McCornack to approve the March 24th, 2020 Planning and Zoning regular meeting minutes as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is text amendments. I'm going to refer to Mr. Morris to give us some information on that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What you have before you on item F1 are some draft language that will be inserted into the zoning code, and this has actually been offered or being asked for by the airport staff and the FAA. Basically, this is additional language basically that speaks to not putting things, obstructions, both physical or in terms of lights or other types of structures within the flight paths for our airport. Basically, it would be construed as a safety action. So what you have here is basically airport hazards, not that you, and so trying not to build things or put things in those ways within the airport hazard areas, and also a requirement for the airport folks to prepare an airport approach plan. That's B. And then also the removal that could be authorized by things that would be deemed as an airport obstruction. That would be C. One of the things that we also added in there was at the top of page 9 there in the agenda packet are other features, not just physical things, but things like that are concerning maybe possibly lighting, lasers, weird stuff like that that could possibly blind pilots, interfere with navigation. So this is all safety-related stuff. It would be in our code as well for things related to the airport. And let's stand for any questions.
What do you need from us? Is this, do we just give our approval and it goes to council? What do we need?
I would need Mr. Chair, I'd like to have a motion to recommend approval to the city council and then let the city council move.
Okay. Any commissioners have any questions, Jana or James?
No, it looks pretty clear. No, sir. No questions for me.
Okay. If there are no additional questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval and submission to the City Council for approval of the Article 4 definitions and the Article 52 Building Performance Standards presented to us this evening.
We have a motion by Commissioner Story and a second by Commissioner Lassard to approve the text amendment and send it to the City Council for their vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion, I'm sorry. Any opposed, same sign. There being none, motion carries. The next item is Article 52, Building and Performance Standards. What do we have on that, Bill?
All together.
Mr. Chair.
Is it all
52
together?
It was all together, yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you. The next item then is on the Planning and Zoning Commission members. There are 4 vacancies. I think everyone has received the number of applicants. Mr. Henderson is in the audience this evening. We can certainly ask any questions for Bill if he might have some answers regarding any of the people. My recommendation, and this is just my recommendation, that of the 4 open slots, Jesse McDaniel is an applicant, and David Story. I would recommend that those 2 be included for another term. And I've known Mr. Henderson for many, many years. I think he would be a good addition to planning and zoning. And quite honestly, the others I really don't know. So my recommendation would be McDaniel, Story, and Henderson. And not knowing any of the others, I just don't know that I could make a decision on that. Any other commissioners have any thoughts?
No, I completely agree with you, Riley. I came up with the same people.
What about a 4th? David, do you have any?
I don't, looking at the applications and stuff, there's quite a bit of different variation here. I've heard of the Christina Arnold. I heard she's very good. I don't know Jesse Davis. I don't know Megan Patterson. Daniel Lopez, I don't know him. And the guy that, Paul Moore, he's got a long history with some city somewhere, but he's only been here in Roswell for 1 year. I mean, his resume is very impressive. So I just, whoever we think out of those remaining 5 applications that we think would, present some diversity to the board, then I think that's what we ought to do. But I don't know them either.
James or Janet, do either one of you have any knowledge of any of the others?
I don't. I've heard of Christina Arnold, but along with David, I read through Paul Moore's information. He has some experience and could bring something to the table.
James, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think Paul Moore, maybe his experience on some other boards, maybe that would help us out. Aside from that, like you guys, I don't really know any of the other applicants.
Well, I agree. He does have a lot of experience, and while it may not be here in Roswell, at least we've got somebody that's willing to serve. And my recommendation would be Jesse McDaniel, David Story, and Steve Henderson and Paul Moore. Is that correct?
That's what I would say.
Maybe if we could have that in a motion from someone.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to send the following people's names on to the mayor for consideration for the Planning and Zoning Commission, being David Story, Jesse McDaniel, Steve Henderson, and Paul Moore.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Story, a second by Commissioner Lassard, that we send the following 4 candidates to the mayor for his approval: Jesse McDaniel, David Story, Steve Henderson, and Paul Moore. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The next item that we have is other business, voting in of Planning and Zoning Commission officers. My question there, is that something that we want to wait until we have a full slate of commission members?
This was added just as a comment, basically to let you know that this your list, the slate, will now go to the June city council meeting. So at the end of June, for the next planning and zoning commission meeting, we'll bring up the election of officers.
I think we ought to vote tonight, and those people that are not in attendance, they're just out of luck, and they're gonna get to be the chairman and the vice chairman and the secretary.
Well, you'll enjoy it, David. It's not a bad job.
Pays well.
Yeah, lots of money.
All right, so we've agreed that that's the route we'll take. Any public comments? I don't see any really to pick from.
Thank you for your confidence.
Okay, so Mr. Henderson has thanked us for our confidence in him and passing him on to the mayor as a candidate to fill one of the open positions. Next is any reports or announcements.
Mr. Chair, I don't have any at this time.
Okay. There being none, Commissioner Lassard and McCormick, is there anything that needs to be added? That you?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
Thank you.
We appreciate both of you phoning in, and I don't think I'll be here the next meeting, but I know I'll see everyone from time to time. So with that being said, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.